want to thank all of our sponsors. I want to introduce a couple of speakers. The first speaker that you're going to hear from today is Alexis. She is the president of the North Kingstown High School Saga, which is the Sexual and Gender Alliance. Did I get that right? Yep. So if everybody could welcome Alexis to the microphone.
Hello.
Hello.
They let me speak first. That was a mistake. So, as Jen Lima just said, and actually thank you so much for Jen and Michael and Karen and everyone at Tank for planning this whole thing. This is so spectacular to be here. So another round of applause for Jen. But, I am the president of Sexuality and Gender Alliance at North Kingstown High School. And our table's right over there. And Saga is what is called the Gender Sexuality Alliance Club, or GSA. Saga's been around since 2011, so we chose a name before it was standardized. You'll find GSAs in many high schools across the country in all different shapes and sizes. Some specialize in advocacy and otherwise hateful districts, others provide a safe space, and others are just group hangout spots. We at Saga try to do all three. It's only been a year for me, but being president of a GSA club has taught me many things. How to work with school faculty, how to communicate more effectively, how to provide communication for those in need. But most of all, it's allowed me to find joy in what I do. I'm transgender, and when I was 13, I began confiding in those around me that I was not a man. I had been feeling like I wanted to be a girl for years, but it reached a breaking point one afternoon in school when I became surrounded by my own name. That day, I told my friend Tessa, who I've known all my life, refer to me by they, them pronouns. I now go by she, her. A couple weeks later, I was hanging out with my grandaunt Gloria. The agony of my identity had been somewhat relieved since I told Tessa, but thoughts persisted. You'll always be a boy, this new name is ugly, and anything my brain could tell me to prevent me from telling someone else. Yet I wanted to anyway. My Auntie Glau is Catholic, and I perceived that as a threat. But I didn't care. I couldn't care. What I cared about most in that moment was breaking the news to another. When I told Tess, it was a rush of validation, as if all my questions about the universe had been answered. And so, despite the fears and risks that I invented for myself, I told her. For a moment, my auntie didn't emote. An incredibly expressive woman, moments ago she had been dancing to old Italian music. And now she simply stared. At first I thought she didn't hear me, but as I rose to speak again, she told me that she was happy I told her. Glau and I spoke for a while about what this meant for my identity, my future, but at the end of the conversation, she told me something I'll never forget. Alexis, to tell you the truth, I don't effing care. Life's too short. Carpe diem, I say. Do you know what that means? It means seize the day. Carpe diem, Alexis. And she really talks like that. More than 2,000 years ago, Roman poet Horace penned those two words in his work, The Odes. The Romans were a people who had very little time to prove themselves and to live with. Their society cared deeply about merit and name, and so they said, Carpe diem. When Glau said it, I had never heard that phrase before, but I understood immediately what it meant. It's not just some hedonistic axiom for do what you want, it's a philosophy in of itself. Glau said, I don't effing care. As in, I'm not going to stop you. And so neither should I. I told more of my friends, I told my teachers, I bought feminine clothes, my allowance money, and finally I told my parents, who I had convinced myself would never accept me, despite never having a shred of evidence to think so. If I let myself stop my progress toward, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't have helped plan this event. I wouldn't have raised the trans flags on the step at the State House. I wouldn't have ran for Saga president. I wouldn't be in Saga, and I wouldn't be out of the closet. Many, many trans people live in families or communities that won't accept them. And I don't mean to belittle that experience. And I'm incredibly fortunate and grateful for two loving, accepting parents, my Auntie Glau, and all of my wonderful friends. However, the fear inflicted by the hate of transphobia breaks us down, rots our minds, and it must be quelled. You would be surprised how much love is still left in this world. To anyone at home watching or listening, anyone in the crowd who is considering taking a step forward in their identity, or even to people deep in their transition, carpe diem. Refuse to settle for people who won't accept you, and join communities that will. Find small ways to embrace your gender identity on the daily through makeup, clothes, or programmer socks. Refuse to be beaten down by the hate and evil of this world. I've seen too many girls give up because of it. I've seen too many beautiful people take their own lives. They're afraid of you because they know we hold the keys to the future. A future where the world is ours and we've seized the day. I've learned through all of this, the best act of resistance is enjoying yourself and the life you live. But you can't do it alone, and nobody can. And I couldn't. Communities like Saga are right here for you, and the door is open. GSAs like ours at NK have helped create a more inclusive space and develop school policy in a more enlightened way. But arguably, most importantly, so many trans people have been able to come out and express themselves in their school communities. I've seen it change the lives of people I know at school, and that's why they're so important. Why we need leaders who will act and create these communities to help others. If I can inspire one person to create that change here today, then my goal is complete. I love running Sexuality and Gender Alliance. I love marching in the parade today. I love speaking here today. And I love standing up for my trans brothers, sisters, and siblings. All trans people are beautiful, both in body and in spirit, and you deserve the gifts of life and love. It will get better, but only if we act. And when we do, there is nothing that will stop us. Carpe diem, and thank you.
Carpe diem!
And please consider checking out the Saga booth right there, right next to Tank, you know. Thank you so much.
So, I don't know why Alexis didn't want to go first because that was fabulous. So, sorry, Bridget, but you've got to follow that. So, the next speaker is, if you live in North Kingstown, depending on what part, you are fortunate, like I am, to have State Senator Bridget Valverde as your representative up at the State House. When we were planning the first Pride Parade, she was my first phone call, and unhesitatingly, she said yes, that she would support. She supports everything I do personally, and she supports everything I need for students. So please welcome to the mic, Bridget.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Can we get a huge round of applause for Jennifer Lima, please? She is really the woman behind so many great things that happen in this town, and I am so proud to be a partner with her in whatever she is doing, whenever she calls me. So this is our third Pride celebration in North Kingstown, and it is so wonderful to see it get bigger and bigger every year. To see more partners out here, more families, really celebrating the LGBTQ plus community. And I am a proud ally, and I know that my other colleague in the Rhode Island Senate, Senator Alana DeMario here, who is also marching today, we try to work together every day to support equality and to protect the community. We are really lucky to live in a town in a state that has prioritized protecting people. I see our town council president, Greg Mancini, here, who's a great ally, and other members of our town council, our school committee. We're all working at all levels. So Jen asked me to talk about a couple of things that are happening at the state level to protect the LGBTQ community. Because as we know, at the federal level, there's a lot of hatred being spewed. But so whether it is investing in our community health centers that provide medically and culturally appropriate trans care, we're doing that, and passing a Data Privacy Act to make sure that everyone's medical information is protected. Protecting the providers that provide the reproductive and gender affirming care. that people need. We will protect them. And I just want you to know that we will continue doing everything we can, working every day to protect the community. So thank you everybody for being here today, and keep on showing up for yourselves, and we promise to keep on showing up for all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. And last, I am so proud to welcome to the mic our Grand Marshal for today, the Reverend Dr. Donnie Anderson. I first met Donnie when I was running for school committee in what feels like a bazillion years ago, but was 2020. And I have never met a person who is so authentically true to themselves and is so able to call people into a conversation instead of calling people out. And that is a quality that I lack, and it is something that I so admire about her. And she is a incredibly inspiring person who walks truly in her own path. So please help me welcome to the mic Donnie Anderson.
Thank you, Jen. Only just a couple of minutes, because I know what you want to do is spend your time listening to a bunch of people talk. And you know, you've had a student who was really great, and a politician is not bad, but a preacher, I mean, that's about as bad as it gets, right? And I already had my shot this morning. So I just want to remind us, I love Pride. And I love to get to as many Pride celebrations as possible, because it's a wonderful time to celebrate. But let's remember, Pride really began as a protest. You know, it began by saying, we are not going to just sit back, be in a corner, and let people push us around and tell us that we are not authentic, or that we're not real human beings, and that we don't deserve to have our authentic selves be able to live out. Because we do, and you do, and I hope that, you know, whether it's something up at the State House or here in your own school committee, that rather than stay home and be relaxed on a cold winter night, but come out and testify and support people like your legislators here who are fighting for you hard. Because let me tell you, not everybody at the State House has their perspective, okay? And they need our support. And so let's make sure they have it. But I have some good news for you today, and that is this, that although people may hate us, and some really do, I want you to know that hate doesn't work. Let me just tell you 3 powers that you have. The first is the power of your personhood. You are an authentic person. You have value. You have your own unique things, and let it be so. You don't have to conform to what somebody else says. You have to do to be real and authentic and to make a difference. The second is, my phone froze. There we go. The second is that you have the power of community. Look at this. Look at all of us today. Yesterday, I was at Rhode Island College for the Transgender Health Conference. There must have been 400 people there. Half of them were trans folks. The other half were medical and mental health professionals coming together to support our LGBTQIA plus community. We have power in community. I understand, especially for those of you who are younger and who are part of our community. I get it. When you turn on the tube and you see the horrible lies that are being told about you and about us, what sometimes we want to do is just curl back into our own little corner and just not do anything. But you have friends. There are people who love you and who care about you, and let yourself be part of community. I love the fact that there's a group at the school that, you know, school students can get together. No matter what your context, find a group of people and enjoy the power of community. And the last thing is, I want to tell you what you've got is the power of love. You know, Martin Luther King took a quote from a 19th century preacher. And he said this: the arc of the moral universe is long, but it moves towards justice. Listen, my friends, right now, it feels like we're losing. Right now, it can feel like the world is collapsing in on us. And I know that some of you, especially in the trans community, feel that way. But understand this: love wins. I saw that on some t-shirts today and love it. Love wins. Hate does not win. King said you can't overcome hate with hate. The only way to overcome hate is with love. And you do have the power of love. You are not powerless. These turkeys up in Washington cannot destroy your life. Okay? They cannot do that. We will not let them do that. We will stand. We will stand together. Whoops. And we will stand in love. God bless you. Have a great Pride.
And with that, enjoy the rest of your afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming.